我是阿万，今天是2025年11月14日，谢谢你听我的频道。来看一篇观点的文章，来自高宇欣，外强中干的祖国让中国人感到绝望。那屏幕前的你感到怎么样呢？绝望用来描述我倒是很合适，因为我当下就是绝望啊。每周一早晨，中国国歌激昂的旋律都会从街对面的小学飘进他在北京的公寓。身穿校服的小学生在新铺的草皮的操场上排成了整齐的方阵，注视着国旗缓缓升起。附近的街道两旁摆着花盆，种着银杏树，还有号召公民热爱祖国的宣传标牌。在他的人生的大部分时间里，这样的号召都显得多余。中国经济腾飞，我们为祖国感到骄傲。如今对许多人来说，这种骄傲已经难以唤起。在日常生活井然有序的表象下，一股悄无声息的绝望在暗流涌动。社交媒体和私下交谈中反复出现的一个主题是对失业、降薪和生计艰难的担忧。当今中国人正生活在一种奇怪的悖论之中。在国际上，中国看似强大，它是美国在塑造世界能力方面唯一的对手。最近，特朗普总统和中国国家主席习近平的会晤，两国领导人宣布贸易战休战，进一步强化了这一系数，而北京也非常乐于推动它。一个在外交挑战面前坚韧不拔、团结一致的国家。这种强硬的外表在中国国内却被戳破，人们对于经济和个人前景黯淡的绝望感无处不在。对于这种国家自信与民众疲惫之间的反差，中国人用外强中干这个词来概括。许多人现在感到，正是那些让中国在海外显得强大的国家政策正在伤害他们自己。他们看到政府更关心建立全球影响力，主导出口市场，而非解决民生挑战。几年前，针对私营部门的打压行动被普遍认为是中国生计受损的根源。同时，财政资源被引导至那些政府认为更具战略意义的行业，如电动汽车、太阳能和造船业。与此同时，中国在稀土供应链和加强领域的全球垄断，在国内造成了空气和土壤污染。如今，人们感到一种苦涩的愤怒，他们成了一个痴迷于世界大国地位和击败美国的国家牺牲品，无从发声。这种情绪很可能还会加剧。上个月发布的最新5年计划，政府的经济优先级蓝图明确表示，将愈发侧重国家实力而非民生福祉。今年4月，随着中美关税战的升级，人民日报的一篇社论宣称，北京能够抵御美国的霸凌，凭借的是制度优势，如集中资源实现国家目标的能力。中国互联网上的反弹迅猛，一篇热转的社交媒体帖子指出，政府在自夸时，普通人的日常挣扎，找工作、填饱肚子、教育子女，却困难重重。作者写道，与美国打赢贸易战意味着准备牺牲一部分人民。审查机构很快屏蔽了这篇帖子及类似的内容。多年前，中国人会出于政府几十年来灌输的条件反射式民族主义，就是像上文提到的那种人民日报社论的欢呼。如今，这种爱国情怀几乎被反映民生困境的声音所淹没。青年失业率高到去年政府修改了统计方法，以得出更低的数字，即使新数字也是高得惊人。据估计，约2亿人在零工经济中勉强维持生计。消费者中有许多人因为房地产市场的崩盘而导致净资产缩水，而不得不削减开支，使经济陷入通缩漩涡。经济不安全感正导致人们放弃结婚和生育，加剧全国人口下降的趋势。民众不满也在拉大贫富差距。当多数人面临日益暗淡的前景时， 公众对那些被认为利用经济或政治关系获取机会的既得利益者愈发怨恨，心理健康问题巨性也是在上升。过去几年，一连串无差别持刀袭击和其他暴力事件便是佐证。北京显然无法再指望条件反射式的爱国主义为其日益强势的外交立场背书。9月，中国共产党为纪念二战结束80周年举行盛大阅兵时，许多人公开质疑为什么不把这些钱用来改善民生。政府最近开始打击社交媒体上所谓过度悲观的内容，这清楚表明他担心公众的不安会削弱自己的议程，但压制批评而非解决问题根源，只会加深与人民的隔阂，使国家在对外政策重点与所需国内支持之间谋求平衡的努力面临更大的压力。长久以来，中国人在一种心照不宣的社会契约下取得繁荣。共产党给予人们更多改善生计的自由，以换取政治服从。对许多中国人来说，政府不再履行其契约义务。2012年，习近平上台时，他反复提及中国梦，通过国家强大实现共同繁荣的承诺，给了人民希望。近年来，在政府宣传中已不再那么突出这一口号。国家或许会说，那是因为其愿景已大半实现。更可能的是，共产党明白，在目睹梦想日渐暗淡的民众听来，这样的说辞已言不由衷。我会有看那个，比如说，昨天这个频道就是会记录说，各种就比如说事项或者说抗议，就是中国国内的。然后呢，有看到说现在就是说暴力事件其实是非常多的，就是增加的还蛮快的。因为怎么说呢，有句话叫防民之口胜于防川。蚂蚁之线哈，蚂蚁那个什么什么大坝溃于蚁方的，我忘了，反正记忆已经不是很行了。我不知道你的感受是怎么样。如果你是在中国的话，那我更想看到你的现状是怎么样。可能翻墙和不翻墙的人群还是两个不同的。希望你如果有路过这里，那就留个言吧，如果可以点点赞吧，然后如果再可以订阅我吧，说到订阅我吧，我终于达到粉丝100了，然后谢谢各位，谢谢大家，然后就是不知道什么时候能破1000，我感觉这样子要超久才能到1000，然后在1000之前，请大家要不离不弃。China looks strong. Life here tells a different story. Every Monday morning, the sturgeon strength of China's national assumption steams into my Beijing apartment from the elementary school across the street. Young students in uniform stand in neat rows on a frosty, turfed playground as the Chinese flag inches up a pole. Nearby streets are lined with flower pots, ginkgo trees, and propaganda signs exhorting citizens to love their nation. For much of my life, the dejected had feared superfluence. China's economy boomed, and we were proud of our country. That pride is harder for many of us to summon today. Behind the orderliness of everyday life, a quiet desperation smears. On social media and in private conversations, there is a common refrain: worry over job lasting, wage cuts, and making ends meet. Chinese people today live with a strange paradox. Internationally, China looks strong. It is Americans' only rival in terms of the power to shape the world. The recent meeting between President Trump and President Xi Jinping of China in which the leader announced a trade war truce has fed this narrative, one that Beijing is only too happy to promote, a resident nation united in the face of external challenges. That muscular facet is punctured here in China, where despair about the economy and personal prospects is pervasive. This contrast between a confident state and its very population is captured in a phrase Chinese people are using to describe their country. 外强中干, roughly translated as outwardly strong, inwardly brittle. Many now feel that the very state policy that have made China appear strong overseas are hurting them. They see a government more concerned with building global influence and dominated export markets than in addressing the challenges of their households, as they cracked down launched several years ago on the private sector is widely blamed for undermining middle-class livelihoods, even as financial resources are channeled into these industries that the government deem more strategically important, such as electric vehicles, solar power, and shipbuilding. Meanwhile, the global chokehold China has secured on the supply and processing of rare earth elements has caused air and soil pollution at home. These days, there is a sense of bitter anger among the people admiring the boldest victims of the state obsession with world power and beating the United States. That sentiment is likely to grow. The latest 5-year plan, the government's blueprint of economy priorities that were released last month, makes clear its plans to double down on prioritizing national power over the common good. In April, as the tariff war with the United States intensified, People's Daily editorial argued that Beijing can resist American bullying thanks to systematic advantages such as China's ability to centralize resources and pour them into accomplishing national goals. The backlash on the Chinese internet was swift, while the government boasts a various social media posts pointed out. Everyday struggles like finding jobs, putting food on the table, and educating children are fraught with difficulty. Winning the trade war with the United States means preparing to sacrifice some of the people, the author wrote. Censors should block the post and others like it. Years ago, Chinese people would have cheered a People's Daily editorial like that out of the reflexive nationalism that the government has instilled for decades. The patriotism is nearly drowned out today by those who went over the problems they face. Young unemployment is so high that last year the government changed its calculation methodology in a way that produced a low number. Even the new figure remains alarmingly high. An estimated 200 million people get by precarious careers in a gig economy. Customers, many of whom have seen their net worth shrink in an intractable housing market crash, are cutting back on spending, trapping the economy in a deflationary spiral. The sense of economic insecurity is leading people to forego marriage and starting families, worsening a national decline in population. Popular frustration is also is sharpening the divide between the haves and have-nots, hardening poverty, resentment against those who are perceived as parlaying economy or political connections into opportunity, while most people face dreading prospects and mental health problems are believed to be rising, as evidenced by the spate of indiscriminate stabbing, spills, and other violent attacks in the past couple of years. It seems clear that Beijing can no longer count on knee-jerk patriotism to underwrite its increasingly assertive stance abroad. In September, when the Chinese Communist Party staged a Davis military parade to commemorate the 80th anniversary of the end of World War II, many people wondered aloud why the money wasn't instead spent on addressing the difficulties of ordinary people. The government recently began cracking down on social media content it considered excessive, permitted. A clear sign it is concerned about this poverty and is undercutting this agenda, but suppressing criticism instead of addressing its cause will only depend on the disconnect with the people and strengthen the balancing act that the state has tried to strike between its foreign policy priorities and the domestic support it craves. China has long strived under an unspoken social contract, the Communist Party granting the people more freedom to improve their livelihoods in return for political obedience. To many Chinese, the government is no longer holding up its end of the bargain. When Mr. Xi took power in 2012, he gave China's people hope with his of a repeated mantra, the Chinese dream, a plea of shared prosperity through national strength. That phrase has been less prominent in government messaging in recent years. The state might say that's because much of its vision has become redirected. More likely, the Communist Party understands that such rhetoric now rings hollow among the population that is watching its dreams fade. Thanks for your listening and hoping your life fully with happiness and joys.